Hello and welcome to Shikshakji HR Talks podcast, India's only podcast that focuses on HR for business owners and helps you to solve all your queries and problems with related to HR, that too in two languages, presented to you in English and Hindi. I'm your host Cherag, and today I'm going to walk you through a subject that you cannot ignore no more, that is HR tech. Let me welcome Dr. Vivek sir to walk us through this complex subject which you may think which actually is very light and simplified by our HR doctor sir, Dr. Vivek sir. Welcome to this episode on HR Tech Part 1 sir.
Thank you so much, Cheragji. And as you mentioned, that the complex subject can become simple, and that can only happen in Shikshakji HR Talks, hosted by you. You know, where we are curating, we are deconstructing the complex situation in a simplest manner. HR Tech, as you mentioned, is the need of an hour. Agentic AI coming in picture, AI coming in picture. We have got fintech, we have got retail tech, we have got edutech, and now HR tech. So HR tech is quite important, is become evident, and is become necessity of an organization today. How HR tech can be helpful? We can definitely go deep dive in detail. What challenges HR tech can be able to solve? We can get into deep dive, and we can start the discussion on that line.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Very magnanimous of you acknowledging me hosting the show. Let me begin with this question, which always haunts all the business owners. They get into HR tools or HR tech, and they are literally in love with that. And suddenly they say, "No, this is not for me," and drop out. Why that happens, sir?
Oh yeah, I mean, before we get into that, let's understand that what HR tech can solve for a business.
Mm-hmm.
So one is that sometimes we don't have a visibility, like goals, roles, PMS, compliances, designations, onboarding. That becomes a quite blur. That gets solved by HR tech. That's the first thing. Then second thing when we talk about is basically, I can still with a manual approach, I can keep on doing this payroll on a manual basis. Now what happened? My time is getting wasted, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's the second point. And third one is that my compliances.
Mm-hmm.
Since there is no system, there is no scalability, I miss out many compliances. And that becomes one of the major challenges. Now what happened? Now what happened is that a business owner or a founder or a promoter keep on exploring Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then they get to know that there is some HR tech tool which is free of cost available. Nothing comes free, Chiragji. Nothing comes free. Even if you are spending your 1 minute there, you are actually giving your database to them. And just to tell you, there are 3,000 plus HR tech companies in India as of now, as we speak. And this is number is going to increase. Why? Because somewhere it is supporting the organization. Somewhere it is supporting the ecosystem. Now, these are the major challenges which happen, and because of those challenges, as a business owner, I get into freemium model. Now, after freemium model, 15 days trial get over, subscription get over, and then you need to come back to payment system, payment mode, and then they will start chasing you. Through your email, through your Facebook, through your Instagram, all that way they start. And on top of it, their executive also start calling, "Sir, why don't you take this? Sir, we are offering you this much." So what happened, then you get very much confused. And then instead of tech becoming support or enabler for you, that becomes a question mark for you. And that becomes a cost for you. That becomes an effort for you. To control that, if the things are in a quite a structured and stable manner, this will do wonders to the organization. As you mentioned, it will help you in the grow the whole organization. Yeah.
Absolutely understood, sir. I mean, they get excited, sign up for a tool, but they are not able to put that in proper I would say, put to use in a proper manner.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what happens, and they are bombarded with sales outbound calls and all that. Also sales outreach and
Complete chasing. Now you go and you see everywhere, whether you go to email, you see their email. When you go to Facebook, you see their ad. You know, there is something called as thing like, what you called as an attack is like, that cookies, right? So they get the pixels, cookies and all that, and now they are always behind you.
Absolutely.
So that's how this is one of the major challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, moving on from here is let's get into area of HR where we have different functions. People join, people leave, and there a lot happens in between them. So if we have to apply HR tech or implement HR tech or tools in these areas, how can we do and where what we can apply? Could you walk us through? And this will be very, very informative for our listeners and viewers of this podcast so that they can put the HR tool to use in the right way they should.
Oh yeah, I mean, hire to retire. There's a complete framework which is there. Hire to retire. Now, in between hire to retire, there is a complete ecosystem which get followed. There is a complete framework which is followed. And let me tell you that there is a myth. The myth is what? That if I will get into tech, that will be very costly. If I'll get into tech, it will be very tough for me to implement it. If I'll get into tech, how can I manage that? If I'll get into tech, so on and so forth things. So these are the various myths. Let's bust that myth today, that it is very easy for a tech to support you and enable you. Whether it starts with your hiring, or it goes to your attendance, or it goes to your performance management, or it goes to your learning and development. Further to that, it's your payroll management, and last is your exit management. So complete cycle can happen through tech. All 6 to 7 major functions as we talk about, your tech is there. Who can support you with that? It's only that I need to see that which tech tool can be helpful for me. One. Second is that how can I get implemented in a simplest manner. Two. And the most important thing, the entity who is going to use my employee, how much they will be agreeing to that particular part. So that's how these are the 2-3 major things which is very important and evident when we look forward to have any kind of the tool, and this gives the complete circle. Hire to retire, all the thing can manage through tool itself.
Yeah, that was very insightful and deep, I would say, when talking about HR and HR tech itself.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants to connect with us, I'm sure we may be able to help regarding the HR tech and implementation. So I would like to, know about a real life case, sir, where things were very disorganized and things were not happening, or they signed up for HR tech and dropped it off, or whatever, happened and things were not the way it should be.
So yeah, picture this, like, I'm in 2018, Zoholix, Bangalore. And Sridhar Vempuji was there, Rajendranji was there, and then I stood up, and I shared the success story of one of the client where people are not even, the employees are not even 12th pass. They were, 10th pass and all that, vernacular medium. And they were using Zoho. They were using HR tech. I mean, I'm not endorsing any particular company here, but what I'm saying is that if that is a mindset of a business owner, then it can be done very easily. So Nagpur-based company and a very, I can say that mix of a audience there, mix of an employee there. Somebody was 10th pass, somebody was 12th pass, somebody was even, ITI, diploma holder and all that. They were very comfortable in doing this part. They were very comfortable in adopting this technology. So, now what happened? Once they adopted this tech, it took some time. It took 3 months, 6 months. It took from 10-member team, they moved to 20-member team. It took from 3 months to 6 months to get it stable. But yes, once it is stable, it's done. It's absolutely done. No more questions asked. And that's what it can happen with any organization. If you get a structured step by step framework, implementation framework, it can do wonders. It can do wonders to your organization. Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. I totally agree to what you just said and shared here in the case study. Now, are there any steps which people can take to start with their HR tech and do it in the right way?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it can start with a database management.
Mm-hmm.
See, all your employees are an asset of an organization. And you need to have a complete structured detail about that particular employee, about their Aadhaar card, about their PAN card, about their address, home address, reference number, blood group. You never know what type of data points you require in emergency.
Mm-hmm.
We called it as EDM, Employee Database Management. All that things should be part of your database. That's the first thing. Second thing is that you need to see that when you are doing any kind of this implementation, what type of tool can be helpful for you to get into your hire to retire framework. That's the second thing. And third thing is that reporting and analytics, the matrix part of it. So just set up the matrix. What type of matrix can be helpful? What type of productivity I can evaluate? What type of, performance parameter I need to consider while I do that performance evaluation. Basics, these are just the basics, And then from step number 1, I can move to step number 2 and then to step number 3. That's how the complete implementation can happen. So, just to summarize it, it can be done very easily with some 2 or 3 step framework as we discussed about, and anyone can start. Then you don't have to worry to become a very big company, Fortune 500. No, not needed. Any small company, small, medium business owner can do that. Micro business owner can do that. We can do that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks for simplifying that, Dr. Vivek, sir. I mean, it looks and sounds so, jargonish, that HR tech and HR technology, but from your point of view, it looks pretty simple. And as you had an experience working with hundreds of business, where you help them implementing it, and most importantly, implementing in the right way.
In the right manner, yeah.
So that really helps the cause and makes things easy for the business owner. So from today's episode, what we can conclude is HR tech will help you bringing in clarity and getting away from chaos which you're dealing with right now. In the next episode, part 2, we will discuss the detailed implementation, or I would say the use cases where you can apply HR tech in your company. In the meanwhile, if you're looking for some help on HR tech, remember to click on the description link to chat with our WhatsApp channel, or you can scan the QR code, or you can even send hi with a number given in the banner. Thank you. See you in the next one.